So, can white people culturally appropriate dreadlocks? No. No, you can't. Like, this is why I like being a freeformer, and I'm not one of those people who don't like looking at reality. You know, the reality is human hair naps up. Okay, will so-called white people ever have dreads like this? Yeah, actually, there's a girl in the Freeform Locks group, which you should definitely join if you haven't, if you want to see what natural dreads look like, if you want to see different types of natural dreads. There's a girl named Gia Gambina, I think. She's Italian. Her dreads, her hair is very, she has Afro texture hair. And I think she has like very red hair. And she has a very Caucasian phenotype. So I have to laugh at some of the stuff that people say. Like, everybody's hair is different. There are people who have darker skin than me. You feel me? They have darker skin than I will ever have in my life, who have very straight hair and their hair is dreads. Okay, you can. Your hair. But naturally, every culture has a tie to dreadlocks because that is what natural human hair is. Like all these cavemen and stuff that you're seeing in the museums, all of them need to have some dreads. Okay? Natural human hair right here. All right. But I think it's, I don't know, I just think it's funny because when you see videos like this,
You're saying that I can't have a hairstyle because of your culture? Why?
Because it's my culture. You know what box means.
Do you know it was in Egyptian culture? Are you Egyptian? Nah, bro, I'm not.
Are you Egyptian?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Wait, where's Egypt? Tell me.
You know what, girl?
Where's Egypt?
Dude, go. You have no right to tell me what I can not wear. Huh?
Where's Egypt?
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now. Come back.
Get off of me.
Come back. Come back. Come back. You put your hands on me, you'll learn.
Well, learn what? Like, you're gonna make sense
your
and shit
hands on
because
me.
of what the hair I have? That's no reason, yo. I don't need your disrespect. I don't need your disrespect.
Why are you filming this?
Just for everyone's safety.
you see a young woman who doesn't have dreads. By the way, she has no dreads. She has nothing. Her friend with the high top, that thing right there, he doesn't have dreads. And they want to sit here and talk about cultural appropriation. Seriously, that's not even your culture. That's not your culture. That's not your culture. I'm just gonna say that. If you don't participate in it, that's not your culture. Stop claiming stuff that's not yours. All right. And I saw an article that described this particular habit of quote unquote black culture, which is why I have a very hard time believing in black culture, which basically said that black people are the biggest appropriators because we have no culture and we refuse to look into our culture. We know we come from West Africa. How many people are digging into West African culture? We know that a lot of what we do is slave culture. How many people decide to get rid of all the slave culture? No one. A lot of people embrace it and try and keep it as if it's theirs. It's like being a prisoner of war, trying to live as a prisoner of war, and then wondering why you feel so fucked up all the time. Like, oh my God. It's insanity. That's why I don't, that's why when stuff like this comes out, I have to just be real, you know? Yes, white people can have dreadlocks. I have dreadlocks. I grew my dreadlocks straight from my head. No separation for the first 5 years. I just separated my hair for the first time in my entire life. I've never had dreadlocks. I literally went from a relaxer into growing out my hair into this. I've like, it's very simple. And I feel like people are so afraid to just believe in reality that they don't want to realize the simplicity of life, okay? And this, I just did a video on how I even got this. I literally just ripped my hair. That's it. You know how simple this is? You know how easy dreadlocks are. You don't even know like the real culture behind dreadlocks. A lot of people don't even know where dreadlocks came from. This is wild human hair, son. That's dreadlocks, just wild human shit. It came from like rebels in the jungle coming in trying to help people, trying to do some crazy shit. They didn't have time to comb their hair, all right? They didn't have time to sit in the mirror 2 hours, 3 hours, sit in shops, sit in the barber shop, shooting shit all day, okay? They were fighting. They were rebels, you know? I mean, I'm not, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm not as real of a rebel anymore, but they were rebels, man. And people take that history and they turn it into a hairstyle. And I think it's sad because I see a lot more so-called black people turning stuff that is natural and that could be very awesome, very symbolic, very, very great. I see so many of them fucking defending how there's blonde, natural blonde people, but they don't want to talk about natural dreads. When natural dreads come up, that's nasty. That's dirty. You defend the straight hair, you defend the weave, you defend the blonde hair, but the shit that all of us in the world can get through, it becomes. If you have a white friend or something, if you want to see some white dreads, there is a group that has a lot of white dreads, which I think a lot of white people would be very comfortable with because you'll have a comfortable time there, I guess. Definitely join Free From Lux. You will have a very comfortable, awesome time with us as well. But it's called Natural Dreadlocks, and it's a lot of white people, Europeans from all around the world who who have natural dreads, who grow their dreads naturally. They don't use beeswax, they don't use all this shit. And I think it's funny how people don't realize that different textures create different hair. And people don't realize that the same way that black women get fucked over with the weave, even though culturally, if they wanted to, if they really wanted to go into African culture, they can easily find weave. Weave has been around in African culture for thousands of years. They use African textured hair, by the way, African hair. You might want to consider that instead of buying Asian hair. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. If you want to go the cultural route. See why it's so surprising that someone who has a different phenotype completely than what we do in hair and skin type and whatever would have totally different looking dreads. Their hair is it's just straighter. I guess I don't know. For when it's combed out, they have the ideal, but when it's locked up, it seems like Afro textured is the ideal. But I think honestly, we have to get to the point where everybody's just cool with themselves. All right, cool with themselves. Look into your history too. Don't stop listening to Facebook and everything. Like there's some good stuff on Facebook for sure, but definitely fact check. Always fact check. Always fact check. Fact check. Because it's a lot of propaganda mixed in with dogma, mixed in with lies, mixed in with some honest truths. And when we realize that and we start to do the experiments, we start to be our own scientists, do research, do whatever we have to do to prove a point, Until we start to do that, we're still going to believe in stupid shit like white people can appropriate locks when their hair naturally locks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very weird. Stop being weird, guys, okay? What do you guys think? Do you feel like if someone can grow locks naturally, they should be forced not to because of some social pressure? Do you feel like, dreadlocks are for everyone? Do you feel like more information should be out there about dreadlocks? I don't know. Leave it in the comments down below. Peace.